Desi's World, Desi's World. Come on and have some fun in Desi's World.
Hi everybody, Desi Singh here with a new tutorial on how to make a protective mask during this coronavirus pandemic. And you're going to make this protective mask out of a common 2-liter plastic soda bottle, as it's called here in California in the West, or pop bottle as it's called in the Midwest, Chicago, where I'm originally from. And I'm going to show you how to turn this into a protective mask that looks like this. I'm going to put this on to show you how it fits. It fits perfectly. I breathe fine. I have no problem breathing. I'm going to show you the suction to show how it creates a nice suction around the face because it's form-fitting, not allowing any open gaps around the face to allow virus to enter or escape. And that's how it works. So as you can see, I breathe fine. There's no problem with that. And what I've done with this mask is I've reduced the target area for the virus to enter or exit from. This area is small enough that it creates a smaller area that the virus can enter or exit. With a regular protective face mask, which is like this, you're going to see here, this mask provides a large target area for the virus to enter or exit. Plus, it leaves gaps around it, right? This is what most people are wearing. Even with the ones that are like the P95 or whatever it is, these things, or the N95, I'm sorry, the mask like the N95, it's got a cloth outer surface which allows the virus to adhere to it immediately, right? With this, you have this plastic outer surface and it traps all the condensation inside that might contain virus, right? And it keeps the condensation or droplets, moisture from outside from entering. So as you exhale, the moisture from your breath, as you exhale, the moisture from your breath is trapped within the mask. And it is absorbed by the filter, which is a very common cotton square, which looks like this. This is a cotton square. You can get it at any 99-cent store in a pack of cotton squares, or Dollar Tree or something like that. Any place that you can buy cotton balls and things like that, makeup counter or something like that, you can find those. Now I'm going to show you all the parts that you're going to need next. The things you're going to need are a drill, like a hand drill. In this case, I'm using a Craftsman. Common drill you can get in any hardware store, Home Depot or Lowe's. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a stapler, the cotton square, a sharp object like a knife to poke a hole into the plastic bottle. You're going to need a Sharpie pen, a permanent marker, and an elastic band to attach the mask to your face. And of course you're going to need a 2-liter soda bottle or pop bottle. And then you're also going to need a piece of wood as a backstop for when you're drilling the holes in your mask that will look like this. Okay, so now we're going to need, I forgot to mention, some kind of a tape measure, flexible tape measure, something like you would have gotten at, like, say, IKEA or something. This is a paper tape measure from IKEA. we're going to take this, we're going to measure 3 inches to 3¼ inches up, and we're going to mark that with our permanent marker. Say right about there. I'm marking it at 3 1/8 inches up. Okay. So now I marked it at 3 1/8 inches up right here. The next mark is going to be the opposite side of that, directly opposite of that, and I'm going to mark up 5 inches from there. And I'm putting the tape directly against the lip of the cap, underneath the cap. This lip that stops, it's a stop for the soda bottle's cap, or the pop bottle's cap. So I'm going to mark that at 5 inches from that lip. The 3 inches or 3 1/8 inches was also from the same point, the lip. So I'm going to mark 5 inches. And now I'm at 5 inches from that. And then with that, I'm going to take this and wrap it around to that point. And that gives me the angle that I want. You should show it down here also when I'm doing that. That'll give me the angle that I want. Just real quick, and I mark it there. Come from the other side, do that. And it gives me a rough idea of where I'm going to cut and make this thing work out here for us. So here, just rough. It doesn't have to be exact, because it's going to work either way, even if it's not exactly what we wanted. But it just gives us a guide of how to cut this and what we're going to do with it. So now with that, I'm going to mark that around like this. And there you go. I have a line here that hopefully you can see that I made that's in a kind of a diagonal angle of the bottle. With that, I'm going to take and poke a hole beyond that area, because I don't want to mess up the area that I just drew a line through. And I'm going to take this knife and kind of get it in there, and there you go. I poked a nice little hole in there in the bottle. You have to be careful when you're using sharp objects. Then I'm going to take a nice sharp pair of scissors, and I'm going to work my way up to that line and then cut just inside that line so that we don't see that line later on when we're done making the mask. See that? That's how that works. And I'm cutting this nice and easy. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And take off any tags or loose pieces like that. And as you can see now, I've cut it in an angle. Now if I put this against my face, you're going to see that it's going to have a nice suction. Nice suction. And when I do it right, it's going to take the shape of the other mask. See that? It's going to have that shape. So I'm going to suck it in real good. Now it's got the face shape that I want it to have. See that? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend these edges quite carefully because this is sharp, so you have to be careful. But I'm going to bend these edges back and fold them over about 1/8 of an inch and work my way around doing that. Can you move in close so we can see that? And you can see I'm beginning to bend that edge. I'm going to do that all the way around. And that's the purpose of this, is so that this can fit flush against your face without being sharp and hurting you or anything. And it's going to allow the mask to also create that nice suction around your face. And as you can see, I'm forming that lip here around the mask by doing that, just folding this over. And it takes a little bit, but you can do it. Just be careful that you don't cut yourself because it can be sharp. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back on. Make sure it feels comfortable. It's not cutting into the skin, because without this it would just be cutting into your skin if you don't do this bend. Good, I have nice suction there. And shape that so that it has a nice rounded shape around there. There you go. And as you can see, it goes under the chin. And there you go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the strap, the elastic strap to this. Now all you have to do is find your spot. Like for this one, I had a spot that was about midway up on the mask, right here. About right here on the mask. About right here on the mask, you can see where I'm going to attach the strap. Now to do this, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. I don't need this anymore. It's already done. I'm going to bring this in, get rid of that, get rid of all of this junk. We don't need that anymore right now. And as you can see, the mask, a finished mask without the strap, because I took this strap to put it onto that one to show you how to do it, with the holes drilled in it for the ventilation, for the air to pass through. And this is how this cap is going to end up looking like that cap. See? And then when you take this cap off, you're going to see it's got that cotton square inside there. That cotton square is what's filtering the air as it comes through. And you can actually breathe through that. That's not going to be a problem. And it's going to trap any moisture coming in. So this cotton square will get wet. When you're through with it, you throw this away. You don't keep that cotton square. You toss it away, put in a new one. And every time you use this mask, when you get home after you finish, you wash it out really good with soap and water, and then wipe it down good with an alcohol wipe or a disinfectant wipe before you use it again and before you put in a new cotton square. Every part, you wipe down the inside of the cap, the outside of the cap, you wipe down the outside of the mask and the inside of the mask. And make sure it's nice and dry before you put it back on again. You can dry it down with a tissue or paper towel or whatever. So now the next thing is going to be the drilling of this particular cap, right? But because I'm doing this at about 3:30, about 3 o'clock in the morning here, I'm not going to actually drill. but I'm going to show you how it's going to look when I do it. I'm going to take this piece of wood, and you can see where I've already drilled this other cap. These are the holes from that drill when I drilled these holes into this cap. So all I did was I took my drill, which is not plugged in right now. I'm just simulating the drilling process. And I drilled in several holes. And here I drilled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 holes. 9 large holes. And then I drilled a bunch of tiny other little holes as well, just to give it more ventilation. So you can see those tiny little holes in there. See that? And that's how that's going to look. And it allows the air to pass through. No problem. Lots of air comes through there. Now, the reason I figured this out is because I'm a retired Chicago firefighter. And when I joined the fire department in Chicago back in the 80s, I had created a helmet that had the exhalation and inhalation ports that I built into it to actually be a one-piece helmet with oxygen into the helmet, kind of like an astronaut's helmet that had inhalation and exhalation ports for firefighting, and that was my design. And I'm going to show you a picture of that a little later on. But right now, you got to see how to put these straps onto the mask. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, for expediency's sake, I'm going to take the other cap that is already pre-drilled, because it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning here already. And I don't want to make noise for my neighbors. I live in an apartment. And so I'm just going to show you the holes here. As you can see, there's like 9 holes, larger holes around the circumference of this cap. Then about 6 smaller, tiny holes. And this just makes sure that, you know, we can get enough air through there. No problem. So this is going to be the cap that keeps our cotton square in place and allows air to come in through that small target area of our inhalation exhalation port of the mask. So I'm putting that in place. I'm putting our square into the mask. I stuffed that down in there. It's in really nice now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a length of Scotch tape. I'm going to put it in here to make sure that the cotton ball or cotton square is not something that I'm going to inhale by accident into my lungs and choke on. So that protects me from the square coming back on me if I inhale suddenly strongly for some reason. But I can still breathe through there. No problem. And it still has a good suction if I cover the port. You can see that. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the strap to the mask. Now to do that, I'm going to put on my glasses because I can't see without my glasses. I'm going to do this so that you guys can see exactly what it is I'm doing. I'm going to put this strap onto the mask and hold it in place with one hand. Take my stapler, put it on here, and make sure I get it centered over the strap and into the place that I want it. It's not easy, but it can be done, and it's not really that difficult once you get the hang of it. And right there, I'm going to staple that into place. Now you can see the first staple is in place. See that? So that first staple is in there. It's in nice and tight. It's good. But it's not enough, right? We don't want it to come loose. We don't want our mask falling off of us when we really need it the most. So we're going to add another staple. We're going to fold that tag over, that extra piece that's dangling there, that's sticking out. We're going to fold it back over again, and we're going to staple that down a second time. There you go. And now that's in nice and tight. It's not going anywhere, see? So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to, well, first of all, I'm going to trim off a little piece of this. It doesn't need to be too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. And because it's elastic, it's going to give and it's going to fit nice and snug. And that's what you want. You want a snug fit. And now I'm going to staple that into place. I want to keep it kind of straight, and I'm putting it in an area that's basically right across from the other strap. As you can see, it's pretty much almost exactly across from it, which is what I want. Now I'm going to fold that piece over. As you can see, there's a little extra extended here. And I'm going to fold that over and staple that down. There you go. Now that's stapled down, and you can see now that it's not sticking out. It's in place really well. I've got the cotton ball in there. Now I'm going to put this on, and let's see how it fits. Take my glasses off, put this on. Yep, perfect, as you can see. And if I didn't have that tape there, when I did that, that suction would have sucked this cotton square into my mouth. And maybe I could have swallowed it and choked on it. So you want to make sure you put something in there like this tape to keep the cotton ball or cotton square from coming back out at you. You don't want to swallow that. You don't want to choke on that. That's important that you do that. Now, this is fine the way it is. What will happen is condensation will build up inside. That condensation, if you're sick, is not going to escape this mask to come out and get somebody else sick. It's going to get trapped inside here and absorbed by the cotton square. And if you're not sick and somebody else is sick and they're breathing in, you have reduced your target area by reducing the size of your inhalation port. With this small inhalation port, I can breathe fine. No problem. And what happens here is now coronavirus has a smaller target that it has to be able to find to get through. I don't have that large area. Remember now, with this kind of a mask, this is the target area that the coronavirus has to enter in or escape from. That's too large an area, right? We want to reduce this area. We don't want such a large area for coronavirus to hit and land on and absorb through, right? So we're reducing that. But also, check this out. Even though you have this cotton square in here, now you can still wear one of these masks, but still reduce the target area by putting this mask over it. See that? Now I've reduced the area and I closed off all the open areas around that regular mask. See? And by doing that, everything's closed off. No open areas around the side, under the chin, or around the jaw, or around the nose. Everything is closed off. Watch this. Hear that? That's because I am sucking air through a tight area, forcing it to come through. See that? So now I've reduced the target area. If I cough or sneeze, if I go, it's trapped. It's trapped in here. It's being absorbed by this mask and the cotton ball. All the condensation is being held inside. When you get home, you take it off. You take this off. You take this. You remove the tape inside. You wash it out really good with hot soap and water, because this is a good, strong kind of plastic here. It's going to take the heat of really hot water and dish liquid, dish soap, you know, to kill any virus that's in there. Then you want to wipe it out with some alcohol or disinfectant. Inside, outside, inside the cap, outside the cap, in the neck here. You remove this cotton swab or cotton square. It's going to be soaked with condensation, which could be containing the coronavirus in that. You get rid of that. You flush it down the toilet, or you put it in the trash. You bag it up, whatever. You get rid of it. You don't keep it. Get rid of this stuff right away. In fact, soak it with some alcohol before you throw it away. Even better, soak it with some alcohol before you throw it away, or wash it with dish liquid and hot water before you toss it. That contains the virus, kills the virus. The same with this. If you're going to toss this, clean it first before you toss this. You don't want this hanging around outside in some garbage dump with coronavirus to be spread again, to be in the air or whatever, to be picked up by somebody or an animal or bird and carried somewhere else. Wash it out really good with dish liquid and hot water, or soak it in alcohol and then toss it. Okay? That's going to kill the virus. Enough said. Okay, guys. That's it. Here's the finished mask. I'm going to say thanks for watching this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel. If you can afford it, donate to my Patreon, because right now this is my way of making money in this particular situation with the coronavirus out, and I'm not able to make my films and do that kind of stuff, my independent films, and try to make money that way, or even do any freelance work for other people because of the social distancing. Remember to practice that social distancing. Even though you've got this mask, practice the social distancing. I practice 8 feet minimum, not 6 feet, 8 feet, just to be extra safe. So try that, think about that. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys. Please come back and watch some more tutorials when I post them. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.